Hi class, today I'm going to teach you how to blood type, which means I'm going to teach you how to tell what type of blood someone has based on looking at a model of their red blood cells. So today is going to be a little bit tricky for you to get the hang of this at first. Once you get the hang of it, it's very easy, but that is why I am doing a video of showing you how to do this. And then I will also be posting the Google Slides that I'm using in this presentation so that you can look back at those. You can rewatch the video as many times as you need to. You can look back at the Google Slides as much as you need to. And then I will also hold a Google Meet tomorrow so that you can ask any questions. Just a reminder that this Friday and next Monday are teacher workshop days as directed by the governor, so we will not be having any posted classwork or anything like that from HAS. So you have as much time as you need to work on this. I will still be available on Friday and Monday. If you have questions, you can email me, but I will not be posting any new homework on those days. So here goes on the blood typing. So just a reminder, blood typing means how to tell what type of blood someone has. So the first thing that we need to know, and this was, just a reminder right here, if you did not complete Monday's Ed Puzzle on blood types, do that before you watch the rest of this. And if you have not finished today's bell ringer, finish that before you do the assignment. So the bell ringer asked you what the definition of antigen and antibody are. Those two words are extremely important that you understand the meaning behind for this assignment, and it will get easier as I go through this video. So just as a recap, an antigen is a substance that enters the body which triggers antibodies as a response to fight off possible disease. So an antigen is basically a tag or a flag on a protein or a molecule or something that has entered your body saying this is let's see, people who have allergies, antigens would be the pollen, or this is a certain type of blood. It's just a flag that indicates what something is. And if that is a foreign substance to your body, it tells your body, uh-oh, there's something in here that shouldn't be here. Now, all of our blood types have antigens on them, and the type of blood that you were born with, that antigen is not a problem. However, if you were introduced a new type of blood into your body, then that antigen would be an issue. It would be a flag that says this is not supposed to be here. All right. Now it triggers an antibody response. So if you have an antigen introduced into your body that is not supposed to be there, an antibody is what will take care of it. Now, a blood protein produced in response to antigens that counteracts the foreign substance. So if this is my antigen, and then there's an antibody, the antibody will latch onto that and it will get rid of it in your body. So this is a protein that's produced to counteract the antigen. All right. So we are going to start by looking at A blood type. Blood type A is indicated by two green triangles here. So this is an A antigen, and this is another A antigen. Now this is not actually what an antigen looks like. The antigen is a protein tag. I'm just going to represent it with green triangles. So anytime you see green triangles on this PowerPoint or on your assignment, that represents an A antigen. And because the A antigen is present in this blood type, there are not antibodies for A antigens. But because there's no B antigen present, we do have B antibodies here. And this will be important as we go along. Next, I have B blood type. B blood types are represented by blue half circles. As you can see here, there are B antigens present on this blood cell. And because there is B antigens present, we do not have B antibodies, because that would be bad if we had the antigen and the antibody together. But we do have an A antibody. So if an A blood type was introduced to this person, that would be bad because the antibody would get rid of it. Next, we have Rh antigen, and this is a new one. You haven't heard this before, but Rh is what causes the pluses and minuses in blood types. So a positive blood type means that the Rh antigen is present, and a negative blood type means that the Rh antigen is absent. All right? If it was absent, that means that there would be an Rh antibody present. But on this example, for this blood type, we have an Rh antigen right here, and so we do not have the antibodies. On these diagrams, Rh will be represented by a purple square, and on your assignment, I don't believe the color is the same, but it is a square. Right. So, if I have this example, and all of our symbols are up here. So Rh antigen is a square, B antigen is a half circle, A antigen is a triangle. The antibodies are a similar shape, but they look kind of like a field goal post. So this would be an Rh antibody, a B antibody, and an A antibody here. Notice that the triangle for A antigens and the A antibody are similar shapes that would fit together. So here is a red blood cell. We have B antigens present, Rh antigens present, and then we also have A antibodies floating around. So go ahead and predict what type of blood we have here. So because we have B antigens present, we know that this has to be a B blood type. And because we have an Rh antigen present, we can tell that this would be a B positive blood type. Again, Rh is what tells us the positive or negative. If the Rh antigen is present, it is positive, and if the Rh antigen is absent, meaning that there would not be an antigen here, it is negative. If it's a negative blood type, you would see this symbol, the Rh antibody, floating around out here with the other antibodies. Now, just a reminder, if there are no antigens present, then you have an O negative blood type. If there are no A's or B antigens present, but there is an Rh antigen present, you would have O positive blood type. Okay? All right, so this is when it gets a little bit trickier, but this is what's really important about the antibodies and antigens clumping together. So if I have a patient here that has A positive blood type, meaning there are A antigens present and there are Rh antigens present, and there's a donor here with B antigens present and A antigens present and Rh present, we have AB positive blood type. This is not a good donation for this reason, and this is what I mean by clumping. So for the patient, there are no B antigens present, meaning that we have B antibodies. But the donor does have B antigens. So when this blood would be introduced to the patient's body, the B antibodies, the B antibodies and the B antigens would clump together because they are the same shape. They fit together kind of like a puzzle piece, and this causes clumping. So this would destroy the blood cells and make it so that it's not functionable, and it causes the blood to clump together, and this can be really dangerous for a patient, like deathly to them. So anytime that you have an A antigen and an A antibody present, the antibody clumps onto the antigen and it causes your body to destroy and get rid of that cell. So if you have a green triangle hooked up with an antibody, so A antigen, A antibody, this would cause clumping. B antigens and B antibodies would cause clumping. RH antigens and RH antibodies would cause clumping. So this is not good. All right. Now, in order for us to practice blood typing a little bit, there is a game that we are going to play, and then there is an assignment that goes with that game. So the assignment is just for you to fill out some of the stuff that you did, and then the game is actually like what I want you to do for practice. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the blood typing game and show you a little bit how it works. And then I'll let you go ahead and do the assignment. So if you get this little thing right here, get Adobe Flash Player, it just means that you do not have Adobe Flash allowing your game to play. So you can click on that, and it's just a plugin that's being blocked. So I'm going to manage this. Block sites running Flash. I want to ask first, so I'm going to flip this switch. I want it to allow this. I'll go back to here, click on this, and then hit allow. Okay, if you're using a school Chromebook, this should work. All right, I'm going to let it load. I'm going to hit proceed right here. And then we can just do a quick game with random patients. You can read through this if you'd like. Basically just tells you that it's your job to determine which blood type a person has and then give them the correct transfusion. So we're going to hit proceed, click on a patient. Now, it says drag and drop the syringe on the patient's arm. So we're going to drag this. Okay, so now we have a sample of their blood, and we have 3 test tubes. In the A test tube, we have A antibodies. In the B test tube, we have B antibodies, and we have RH antibodies in the RH test tube. So the issue with this is we have blood here. In this blood, there should be some antigens and there should be some antibodies. If we put a sample into the A antigens in this test tube and it clumps, we know that it is not A-type blood because A-type blood, we know that it is A-type blood. A-type blood would have A antigens and it would clump with A antibodies. So we'll go ahead and give this a try. Oh, so it clumped. This is what clumping looks like, where all the blood has clumped together at the bottom. So now if we click on this, you can see that this blood had an A antigen and an A antibody. So we know that this is definitely an A-type blood. Now if we go to B, it mixed. So if we look here, there is not a B antigen present on the blood cell, even though we introduced it to B antibodies. So this is not B type. And if we add it to RH and it clumps, and we can look at this, we know that there is an RH antibody present, and it clumped together. So it is RH positive, which you can see right here from this RH antigen. All right, so now it's going to ask me, what type of blood does this patient have? So we know that it's A, and then we also know that the RH was positive. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this positive part, and it says I'm bloody right. All right, so you can go ahead and do, I think I'm going to require you to do like 5 of these. The next part is going to ask for a blood transfusion. So if we know that this was an A positive person, we need to select which types of blood they can get. So I know that they can use RH positive because that is their blood type. They can also use A Rh negative because there's no Rh present. You can give them things that they have already. You just cannot introduce a new antigen to them.